really don't think I'm gonna do this again. Please don't be orange. I'm gonna have to bleach it again, aren't I? Look at it, it's giving strawberry blonde. Hello? I like it, okay? Do I? Oh my god. Sometimes I feel myself with this. Today is not that day. Anyway, this is what I look like. Get over it. I just listened to Charlie XCX's album, Music, Fashion, Film, and I loved it. It also has, ever since the singles have been dropping, I've been thinking a lot about my desire to be seen. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. I feel like I've been posting on YouTube for like 3 months now, and I went through a period where I was posting on TikTok, I think for a couple of months as well, maybe shorter, before I started posting on YouTube. This year has definitely been a lot of feeling the need to be seen, especially on social media, and the need to, am I even doing this right? The need to share myself, which I just found really interesting because I don't think I've ever stopped to consider why I feel the need to post on social media. I've always had that desire, like since I think I posted my first YouTube video, which has since been deleted, but I think I posted it when I was 14 or something. Like I was posting on YouTube when I was 14, and then when I was 18, I was posting on TikTok. I was always a Tumblr guy. I just always was drawn to posting, and on Instagram as well. I think a big part of my personality is that I feel like I don't relate to versions of myself that are not that long ago, which enables me to get the ick from myself or just go, I don't relate to whoever that was posting, and so I will delete everything and then start again. And this year I've been trying not to do that because there's definitely lots of things that are online right now that I have posted that maybe I don't connect with anymore, and my urge is to just erase everything. But I'm not doing that because I feel like how can you have an accurate or somewhat honest representation of yourself if you're only showing where you are right now? And I try and think about, like, though it can be like quite parasocial obviously, but a lot of the time, like, you have people that are your actual friends online that are watching your stuff or taking in your content. And I don't know, if you just think about it as like friends, how do you nurture friendships? By showing parts of yourself and them still sticking by you and you still sticking by them even when they've outgrown a version of themselves. I don't know. And so this year I've been trying to not delete things, but I've never sat with that feeling of why, or asked myself, why do I want to post? Because there's lots of people who are far more interesting than I am, far more better to look at, far more aesthetically pleasing, far funnier, far, more captivating, and they don't have that desire to post. They don't post for whatever reason. Why do I post? Why do I feel the need to? And it is, I think, a strong desire to be seen, and it's always been there. Like, I've always wanted to be an actor, and I think for the longest time it was a need to escape. Like, how can I get out of this small town that I don't feel like I fit in? What's something that can take me out of that in the young person's mind? And it was, oh well, an actor is disappearing into a role, and you see these successful actors and going all around the world. And so I think it was definitely a form of escapism of my life, but also myself. I wanted to run away, and I wanted to disappear into characters, but also physically other places around the world, which I didn't think other jobs could do. Also, I enjoyed it. Like, that's a pretty big reason. But as I've gotten older and I no longer have this desire to escape my location. Anyway, I think I'm going on a tangent, but like from such a young age, I wanted to be an actor, and I think a big part of that was to be seen as well. I remember being 5 years old and I was doing my first play. I was a very minor character, and they had, because we were so young, all of us kids in this play, they had the play printed and put all along the front of the stage. And so you could, because we were young, it wasn't seen as that bad to like quickly run up in the middle of the play and sort of like quickly check your lines and run back to your spot. And I remember I knew my lines perfectly because I didn't have that many. And I remember being there opening night and continually running up to the front of the stage to check my lines, but really I just wanted to be at the front of the stage so people could see me. And that pretty much sums up me, I think. Like it's just so funny because I think a lot of people that know me or have met me might not see that sort of need for attention because I am quite shy and reserved in a lot of situations. And I think a part of that is I like to fit in situations. I don't like confrontation. I don't like people not liking me. And how do you achieve that? Well, you mold yourself to fit whatever situation you're in, or you just be very timid and quiet so that nobody can really have any strong feelings about not liking you because you're quiet. And so what's the worst thing people can say? Oh, he was a bit quiet, he was a bit boring, but like that's not that crazy. Whereas when you're most authentically yourself and maybe you are a bit loud or whatever, people can really be quite harmful, and you have more chance of being hurt because people can say things that are actually quite true or have some meaning behind them past boring. You know, I think I did that for such a long time of like dimming myself or seeing what other people responded to and gave me attention for, and so I would play into that because I knew that it led to attention. And I think that's a really dangerous thing to do because then you sort of form connections with people that are not fully based in truth because they have gotten to know and connected with someone that you don't connect with because you've been playing to their desires of you and not your own. And so then you sort of look around and go, oh, these people in my life have an idea of who I am and I don't relate to that. Like that's not me. And then when you start to show your true colors, they're a bit taken aback because they're like, hang on, I didn't get to know this version of Ethan and I don't really vibe with him. You know, as I going, this is why I sometimes sit down and chat videos always stress me out because I just don't know where I'm going with what I'm saying. But anyway, now like being 25, I no longer have that sort of desire to be a different version of myself to suit another person. And so I have this, I think because I'm getting to know myself more, being unashamed of who I am and my faults and my strengths, I have this need to like want to share myself and be like, this is me right now. And I'm so sick of being a closed book and hiding myself or dimming myself or playing into a version of myself that somebody else has created. And I think a big part is why that worked for so long is, or why I wanted to do that, is because it keeps you safe. You know, when you are not giving a big part of yourself away, it minimizes people being able to really sort of weaponize your faults and your flaws and what makes you a complicated person. But also it's incredibly lonely. It's just so interesting because I'm an introvert and I love spending time by myself, but there's also, I think, need for connection. And I remember my therapist saying when I said I started posting, she's like, what do you hope to achieve out of posting? And I said, I just want to find a community of people that, I don't know, understand me. Like, it also sounds, bringing this up is also so taboo. I think in culture of like, oh God, that was way too much, is also kind of taboo because people say, I have a desire to be seen. And immediately the like narcissism flags come up, I think, or the alarms sound off of, why do you have such a strong desire to be seen? Like, are you so self-involved that you can't just live your life without being seen? And look, maybe there is some truth to that. But anyway, I feel like a lot of people actually, I feel like I'm not alone in that desire to be seen. Maybe people just don't want to talk about it, which, why are we doing that? Again, I've lost my train of thought, fuck's sake. And my therapist said, like, why do you want to? And I said, well, I just have this desire to like find a community of people. It's not even like I necessarily sit at home and I feel lonely all the time or anything, because I have experienced feeling quite lonely, and this is not the same thing. I don't feel that way necessarily, but I do just have a strong desire, and that was my intention, was to find a community of people out there, because I do believe that there is a community of people for everyone out there. You just have to find it. Some people are lucky enough to just sort of find that without social media, without being online, but I think for introverts it's probably you're more inclined to find it online, maybe because you're less inclined to go and put yourself in situations to meet people, you know, or find people, find a community. But that was my intention. And she said, okay, but like what kind of community? Like what do you want to be an influencer? Do you want to have brand deals? And those things, like, they sound appealing, but it's not the main I feel like I would be posting very different content if that was the main appeal for me. I'd be following more trends and I'd be posting on TikTok more and those types of things. I just want to find like-minded people and or have discussions, and I think that's where the desire to be seen comes from as well. And that the Charlie XCX song Camera, that really resonated with me. She's just like, I I just love how it makes me feel. And I do, I feel the same way. And I think for the longest time I was always waiting for an acting opportunity to do that for me, because every time I would be on a set, I would have that feeling of, oh, I'm meant to be here. I love this feeling. I love being in front of the camera. But if there's any aspiring actors out there, you know that the opportunities don't come that frequently enough to sort of feel that need, whatever that need is. It's not enough. There's not that many opportunities out there or projects that out there. Whereas with this, like, I can do it anytime I want. I can turn the camera on whenever I want. I don't need to wait for an opportunity. I don't need to prove that I'm right for a role. I can just turn it on, and it does provoke the same feeling of, I just love how this makes me feel. Okay, anyway, I feel like I've been talking for like 20 minutes about needing to be seen. I don't feel like I've answered my own question. Also, it's funny, the desire to be seen and I look like absolute trash. That's just fucking awesome. What the actual fuck is my face? Anyway, that's sort of how I'm feeling right now. Is anyone else out there feeling that way too? Do you have a strong desire to be seen? Like, also, this is a topic for another video, but the need to be perfect and do everything perfectly, debilitating. Maybe I'll discuss that in another video. But I'm feeling that way now because I'm going, oh, this video sucks. You just like rambled for 20 minutes. But you know what? I don't care. Also, when I start talking, I black out. Like, I don't know what I just said. So that's all. Okay, see you in the next video, I guess.